Welcome to the Spurs News Podcast, your home for all things Tottenham Hotspur. Now, here are your hosts.
We're back, baby! We're playing Ange ball, people. We're back. It's the Spurs News Podcast. I am Sam, and this week I have a friend. Hello, Stephan.
Hello, mate.
Thanks for coming.
I'm
Everyone
sorry
calls
about
me
last
loner.
I'm sorry about last week, mate. I know it was very frustrating. It was last minute. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. No, I wouldn't get any. I was more just generally happy I have a friend because with a surname like Jones, it gets changed to Joner, then Loner, and basically it was very sad. Loner Joner all last week.
It was a good podcast, though. You did well.
Yeah, you gotta say that, or else I wouldn't invite you back.
No, you mentioned the fact you were on your own a few times, but apart from that, really good podcast.
Well, I was on my own a few times. The problem is I end up like talking to myself, and I end up sort of answering, and that's worrying.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I
but
don't
you
want
didn't
anyone...
go to random accents. Like, I was expecting you to do a phone-in or something.
Well, yeah. One of my favourite films is Good Morning Vietnam.
Yeah.
And it's the DJ Adrian Cronauer, Robin Williams.
Yes.
And he does this show basically by himself, and he does all this stuff, all these voices and everything. And I often look at that and think, oh, that could be funny. That could be really funny. And if I've ever got caught in that situation where I've got to do a show on my own, I do think to myself, oh, that could be a laugh. But then also I think people would just think I'm mental. Like, I genuinely could get like a phone call afterwards, like, hello, I'm from your local health. We're here to check on you.
Yeah.
How many voices do you hear in your head, Sam? Several hundred.
Today, or... Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry, it's just the voices. But yes, Ange Bull is back. I'm delighted to say, because I have to admit to everybody listening that going into the Manchester City away with a scratch side where we can't name a full bench, we have to name two goalkeepers, where the fitness levels of those who are playing is also in question due to several knocks from training and muscle injuries and stuff.
Yep.
I was expecting a quite serious hiding. I kind of accepted it. I kind of gone into it thinking, we play the way we play now.
Yep.
Mate. That means that whilst we are developing the players in all the right positions to play this way, perhaps every now and again, we're going to be on the wrong end of one. It's like...
Yeah, you got to expect it, haven't you?
Man City away, it's going to be the wrong end of one. And the pundits, to a man and woman, were predicting if Tottenham go there and play their high line, they're going to be hammered quite convincingly. I think one jackass on Talk Shite said that the game would be dead by half time if we tried to play the same way at the Etihad as we do everywhere else.
But that's just how we play, mate.
That is just how we play, mate. So, my opening question to you, and I'd love your opinion on this, because I find myself rattled by this, and I want to know your thoughts. In football, have you ever known a manager asked on a more regular basis if he's going to change his philosophy than what Ange has been asked in these last couple of weeks?
No, and it's crazy because you look at people like Pep, for example. Every time they play at the renamed Etihad, they play the same style, and he's always kind of played the same style, and then he evolves and he plays the same style with a tweak.
Yep.
And no one ever goes, oh, but you tried that tweak, it didn't work, so you're going to go back to the old way, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. Yeah. No one ever asks. They just kind of go, but Pep does it, it's fine.
Yeah.
Ange comes along, and big Ange, that's the way we play, mate. And he plays the way he plays, and everyone's like, oh, you need to change that. Oh, you need to change that. It's like, why? Why? Just because he's the Tottenham manager, he has to change? Like, why?
I feel like, the argument you've used there, the thing is, Pep's won stuff every season for the last, I don't know how many seasons with Man City.
Yep.
And obviously his CV as a manager is trophy laden with Barcelona and Bayern Munich.
Yep.
Now, Ange has come into the Premier League. He's at a club that isn't trophy laden, isn't one of the typical sides that win stuff every season. We're not going to hammer $1 billion on transfers like Pep did to build the team that wins everything.
No, but
Everybody
we have got a
knows
go-kart track.
Love that. An F1 go-kart
An F1
track.
go-kart track. Yeah.
That's really important. You get that in.
Yeah.
But one of the things, like, so for me, what was getting to me is not so much like the Pep comparison, just copying Pep, mate. But
I
actually,
love that. That was still one of my favourite interview answers ever. No, I'm just copying Pep, mate.
So where were all the journalists asking Antonio Conte last season when we weren't winning games and playing this negative shite? Why weren't any of them saying to him, are you going to change things? Because clearly you're not getting the results and the football is dull as shit, basically. Not one journalist called him out on it. Now, again, you could argue, oh yeah, but Conte's got a CV. Well, I'm sorry, but Ange's won stuff everywhere he's been as well.
Yes.
But there's this kind of inherent bias that if you don't win stuff in England, you're shit. And, but you can't do that in England. Yeah, but you won't be able to do that in the Premier League. Well, why? We are. He's come in and, you look at, is it De Zerba for Brighton?
Yes.
Who took over a side I can't pronounce in Italy, Sassuolo?
Yep.
Are you just saying yes because I'm right, or are you just like, yeah, go for
Sassuolo.
it?
Yeah, Sassuolo. Yeah.
Yeah, them. Those guys.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
And he played his brand of football there. That's why Brighton picked him up. He has his style. It fits in with what Brighton wanted in their model. And he's continued to do that.
And he is praised beyond belief, and he's now being, not by the clubs, but by journalists, being lined up for United, Barcelona, Real Madrid.
Big time, yeah.
Not by Real Madrid, Barcelona or Man United, but by the journalists saying he should be going to them.
Look at the job. Look at the way they play football. Look how great it is. Look how amazing he is.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I have got no problem with that. I think he has got them playing a great brand of football.
Yeah.
What's the main difference between him and Ange? It's their nationality. And there's this weird bias that has just suddenly appeared in the media where De Zerba, he's from a recognised football country. But Ange, he's an Aussie. What's he doing? Oh, this is stupid. Oh, you can't play like that.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't go play Man City and try and play football. Why? Brighton go to the Etihad and play their way and they get praised.
Yeah.
Oh, the Brighton play their way. They made it a good game. Arteta, Arsenal, they went to Etihad and played their way. Klopp at Liverpool, they go to the Etihad and play their way. Tottenham go there. Oh, they're idiots.
Yes. It's
really
almost like we're
off.
watching a live version of Ted Lasso.
Yeah, it actually
this
is.
clown knows nothing, surely. We're doing all right, though.
That's actually a really fair point. Genuinely, if anyone hasn't watched Ted Lasso, the TV series, it's an Apple TV exclusive show based off a comedy sketch at Tottenham years ago, actually, funnily enough.
Yep.
But it's basically a US American football coach gets brought into a fictional Premier League team called AFC Richmond. He's never coached soccer before, and he's learning as he goes, but he's just a great coach of people. He is a great manager of people, and he motivates the side, and he turns it around. In 3 seasons later, they are pushing for cups and trophies, and they're playing the best football in the league.
Yeah.
And, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
If you've not seen it. And the show's brilliant. If you haven't seen it, try and find it and check it out. But, of course, there is that kind of... It is a comedy, so a lot of it is played up to kicks. Like the journalists, like, oh, what do you know? Yeehaw and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And you just look at this with Ange, and they're even... There's like some journalist even for The Guardian the other day was having a go at him. And I was listening, and someone clipped it from a podcast. Jonathan Liu, I think the guy's name is. And he basically said he's fake. He's full of it. And I was listening.
What, Ange's?
Yeah, and I was listening, I was thinking, hang on. He's like, oh, people seem to like him because all they hear are these little clips and sound bites. And then this journalist for The Guardian then went on to mimic an Aussie accent and talk about, oh, you know, I do it for my dad, mate. Like, I'm thinking, what the fuck is this?
Wow. And that's a paid journalist, like a professional.
Yeah.
That is his job. Wow.
Like, I mean, I am a podcaster. I run our Facebook page, Spurs News. I am someone who's in the fandom community. I do cringe a lot at my fellow members of this community because, and also calling it a community, I just cringed.
Yeah.
but you know what I mean by that? It's like, I look at like fan TV, for example, as awful. And that's no disrespect to anyone who does it, but I personally find it cringe terrible. I think Arsenal fan TV is a hell of a lot to answer for, because I genuinely believe that the popularity of Arsenal fan TV is what has brought down punditry in this country. Because I believe that TV networks looked at that and went, oh, so people don't want analysis and unbiased opinion, they want rants and they want this. What they seem to be completely forgetting is the vast majority of Arsenal fan TV views were other fans watching the meltdown because it was hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, the
like,
amount
Arsenal
of times
lost.
I'd watch it because they lost. Yeah.
Yeah, mate, Arsenal lost and Arsenal fan TV was trending, and I guarantee you 99% of the tweets weren't Arsenal fans.
No.
They were other fans going, oh, Arsenal fan TV and chill, this is going to be brilliant. They lost again.
Yep.
Let's watch these guys completely lose their minds. And it was entertaining. Like, I'll sit back and I'll hold my hands up. I thought it was hilarious. I used to get sent clips all the time and I'd be crying laughing.
Yeah.
Like, laughing at these guys just losing their damn minds. But what a lot of people seem to have forgotten is the guys behind that, Arsenal fan TV, were basically making a shitload of money out of their team losing. Like, Arsenal won, and they'd probably get a couple of 100,000 views of Arsenal fans. Like, yay, we won. Arsenal lost, they had a few million.
Oh, yeah.
So, which way were they hoping the result would go?
Well, that's true.
Yeah. So, I genuinely believe Fan TV, Arsenal Fan TV's got a lot to answer for, and Fan TV then grew out of that. You got the guy, Goldbridge, I don't know his name, from Man United.
Oh,
Who I see clips of on a regular basis, and you know, like anything, the guy's got opinions. So every now and again, I think, oh yeah, that's a fair point. Other times, I think, God, you just said that for a reaction, haven't you?
I mean, he's so. I find him quite funny, but he is so over the top. But he's over the top because that's kind of what the character now is that he has created, and that's what people watch. Like, to the extent there was a charity football game, and he was the manager of one of the charity teams.
Yeah. Purely
because of what he's done now. Like, looking at what the world classifies as celebrities now, he'll be on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of It soon.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if he's linked to it. No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. I think one of Arsenal fan TVs went into Celebrity Big Brother, I think.
Yeah.
So, look,
Mate, we're close. We're close. I'm going to be on a push to control soon.
Hey, you were on an Amazon documentary.
I know, we don't talk about that.
Fucking bastard.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not over that. Every time I think I'm over it, I'm not. Oh, God. Anyway, so thank you for indulging me for a quarter of an hour rant. We are going to talk about football now. Manchester City 3, Tottenham Hotspur 3. Mate, if I'd said to you before kick-off, this is going to be a free draw, would you... I mean, you might have just gone, maybe, stranger things have happened, but genuinely, I don't think either of us could have predicted that.
So, I actually put a comment on the post on the Spurs news page.
Yep.
I put a post on there, and I think, paraphrasing what I put, I basically said, look, this could be, you know, I'm fully expecting a defeat, possibly quite a heavy one. Yeah. However, as long as we go there and we play the way Ange wants us to play, and we give it a proper go to the last minute, and we leave everything on the field, it's a progression season. So let's just have some fun. And that was kind of, you know, and that's what I was expecting. I was expecting to lose, possibly a drubbing, but to really hope that we still played the style of football and it showed some signs of encouragement for, we may have lost 4-0 at City, but
Yeah.
imagine if we'd have had Van der Ven playing and Maddison playing. Oh, we could have possibly, we could have done some damage. We had some chances,
Yeah.
That's what I was hoping for.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think that was a good hope. So for comedy purposes, I think you'll quite like this.
Yeah.
A friend of mine's a big Man City fan, right?
Oh dear.
And so we were bouncing messages backwards and forwards during the game.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to read a selection of these messages to you. So, me to him.
Yeah.
Sorry, apologies, right? Him to me. I knew Sonny would score against us. Can't believe it. 1-0 down. You must be laughing. I replied, not really laughing, mate. Scoring first against you lot's just going to piss you off.
Yeah.
I think maybe 30 seconds after I sent that, Sonny scored an own goal.
I mean, what a nice guy Sonny is. Like, he doesn't just
is.
score for us, he scores for them as well. Lovely guy.
Like when we used to have that bloke who came through the academy, he was a forward, scored a few goals for us.
Candy Cane or something.
Plays in Germany now.
Yeah.
I think his name was Charlie Kane. I can't remember exactly what
Something
his name
like
was.
that, yeah.
He used to, when he was with us, it was like records every week. It was like, the first player to do this, first player to do that.
Oh, yeah, I kind of remember him.
Fairly confident that Son is gone. Well, I can do that. So it's like, well, here's a goal. Here's an own goal. Right now, if I get an assist, Bob's your uncle. First player to do that.
Yeah.
So Sonny then scores the own goal. And I get through this message, you're in trouble now, right? I didn't reply because I'm just kind of keeping my head down. I'm expecting a battering, right?
The floodgates have opened. Here we go. Yeah.
Right, it's now 2-1 to them. I get, the way you're defending, this could be 7 or 8. Hope you're ready for a rimming. I'm not entirely sure he meant rimming. I think he might have meant reaming.
Yeah.
But again, I didn't reply, so I'm like, no, this is bad.
This is going to get worse.
Yeah, it gets to half-time, it's 2-1, right? I've watched Haaland miss chances. I can't believe Haaland's missed. Like, I am just in shock. Right?
The open goal that goes wide, and you're like, wait a minute. Is Haaland a Spurs fan? Like, what's going on?
I am starting to wonder. I used to sign him a lot for Tottenham on Football Manager. Maybe he knows. Maybe in his soul.
He knows.
So, at half-time, I send, genuinely can't believe it's 2-1 still. Is Haaland okay, hun?
Yeah.
And I got back, you're going to get battered in the second half. Hope you know this. So I was like, probably. I'm like, I'm not engaging in this. What happens then, which of course we're not aware of, is Ange Postecoglou absolutely fires into the Tottenham team and basically then gives a team talk that every player has since spoken to a journalist about as being like, wow, it was next level.
Yeah.
And Kulusevski, I think, nailed it the most when he said it was the first time we'd seen him actually genuinely angry at us, which was a little bit of a shock. But he was angry because we weren't playing. We weren't taking the risks. We weren't doing the things he tells us to do. Yeah. He was like, you're playing scared. He's like, if you go out there and you play the way I'm telling you to play and you lose the ball, you concede a goal, we lose 8-1. That is on me. None of you need to be afraid. And they went out and they played, right?
Yep.
Now, just before we go into my message for the second half and what happened in the second half, can you just, the contrast of that messaging compared to Jose, Conte and the other bloke?
Yep.
Where me, you, Matt, everyone on this podcast at different times has said our players look afraid to try things.
Yeah.
Because they're worried if they try it and fail, they're going to get destroyed by the manager.
Yep.
And then compare that with Ange saying, it's all on me. You make a mistake trying to do what I told you to do, that's me. I'll be in front of the media, not you. I'll be the one answering the questions, not you. Yeah. Go out and play. I mean, to me, I'm like, wow.
We know it's never going to happen, okay? And we know it's never going to happen. But could you imagine Dele Alli was at Tottenham and he has been given that message at half time.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, like, instead of where he had Jose and Conte who refused to let him do anything?
Yeah.
I don't even think... Did he have Conte, or did he leave under Jose?
No, I don't think he...
I don't think he had Conte. He survived that one. He dodged it.
Yeah,
but can you imagine if he had had a manager back then when he was struggling a bit with form, and he had a manager like Ange to put an arm around him and go, mate, just go out there, do your thing. I'm telling you to play this way. You lose the ball, I'll tell the media, but I told you to do it.
Yeah.
Crack on. And you can see the confidence in the players, like Kulusevski and stuff. You can see it in the way he played.
Yeah, massively.
He went,
you really can. You just the trying things, trying to play their way out of certain situations which they shouldn't, trying to beat a player which probably possibly they shouldn't, trying to do different things.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it ain't always going to work. And there's a perfect example in the second half of Basuma trying one too many things, losing the ball and us conceding. But
that was frustrating. But
mate, it's frustrating, but it's an individual thing. This is he wants the players to take that on. He wants the players, because if he did, it's going to sound really stupid, but if he managed to do that, he, in that one move, would have taken 3 players out of the game.
Yeah.
And then there was loads of space. Now,
1-2 passes and we're up at the box. Yeah.
Yeah, I know we lost the ball there, and I know we conceded, and everyone's angry and frustrated. Done that. But just look at it the other way, which is that was a couple of inches away from going between that guy's legs and him being able to storm forward with about 4 Tottenham players ahead of him. That it's just that one transition. Now, granted, Man City away, should you try it? That's an individual thing. That's kind of. But the manager is empowering them all. Like, it doesn't matter who we're playing, doesn't matter where we are. We play our way. We play Ange ball. We play this style of football. And I am telling you, if you think it's on, go for it, and I will back you.
Yeah.
It's not always going to work. But, so in the second half...
I think as well, the Brian Gill off for Højbjerg.
Yeah.
Now, that surprised me completely that he did it. But
okay, so that's interesting. Why do you think... Why were you surprised by that? Because I think we were messaging, and you were kind of a little bit surprised.
Yeah, no,
it didn't shock me, because I kind of felt Gill was he had 2 moments, but then was massively ineffective.
Yeah, no, it was more the case of you bringing a centre midfielder on for a winger.
But then Kulusevski
then went out to the wing, and it kind of moved around a little bit, and then Lo Celso pushed further forward, which turned out it worked brilliantly, because Lo Celso gets a goal and Kulusevski scores off the wing. Yeah. I think I commented to you, I think I sent you a message, I liked the fact of the energy that Brian Gill brings to the squad. Yeah. And I think there is such a good player in there.
Yeah.
And I'm desperate for him to break out and show it. He does it in clips. I don't get me wrong, the first goal wouldn't have happened without him.
No.
The turn at the edge of the box and the ball out was brilliant.
No, I completely agree with you on that. That was genuinely brilliant, and I was really impressed. But other than that one moment,
he then has a ball go over the top, and he gets pushed off it far too easy. So he needs to bulk a little bit, but I mean, I look back and think of Luka Modric, for example. Luka Modric was a small, slight player, but technically brilliant, and now look at him, he's 40 odd years old, Ballon d'Or winner and everything else. So David Silva at Man City,
Bernardo
Silva now at Man City, small slight players that can make a big impact and do well, and I think Gill could be that sort of player for us.
I've got no doubt the kid's talented, but there is definitely an aspect of when you are playing in those positions, you need to contribute. Yeah. And what I mean by that is it's not just... Because a lot of people look at the stats, goals and assists. But the stats, if you're going data-driven, you got to be looking at the key passes, the attempted things. Because the player doing that, you increase your averages of getting assists and goals if they're doing the right things.
Yep.
Now, don't get me wrong, a run of games and stuff like that, perhaps you will see that improve. But you also have to justify it. you also have to take the shirt and go, right, this is my shirt now.
Yeah.
No one's taking this off me. Because you can't just stick a player in and go, right, you're going to have 10 games no matter what.
No, of course not. No, of course not.
Because they might be shite.
Yeah.
And you look at the players who are like chomping at the bit, and there seems to be a real kind of squad harmony, but also a very competitive edge to these players wanting the shirt, wanting to be in the starting 11, wanting to contribute when they come on, which is something we've not really had for a while. Like
I agree.
We've had some decent players on the bench, and then you see them come on, you're like, oh, what are you doing?
Do something, yeah.
Yeah, and yet Ange is bringing, like, Højbjerg came on in the second half. Now, I've got a lot of problems with him. I think mostly around his concentration and the fact I watch him see players run off him, and all he does is points and shouts. And I'm like, do your job, and it wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
So look, there's a personal thing. I've spotted it too many times that it annoys me. Now, lots of other people just point to all the positives, and that's fine. And look, we can all watch the same game and have completely different opinions on the same stuff. So that's just football. But he came on and he really impressed me, because he came on and really did a job of solidifying, working hard, and being harassing, pressing higher up, which I think suits him a lot more.
Okay, last season he was very near the top of my list of players that can go in the summer.
Yeah.
Now we're like, what, 13, 14 games into a season?
Yeah.
And I'm like, to me now, he is a fantastic squad player. Like, the games he has played and he has come on, he's done some great stuff. And he's coming off the bench. And like you say, he really solidified that midfield.
Yeah.
Him next to Basuma, you kind of looked at that and you went, "No, that's solid. That's going to take some getting round." That's, and it allowed Lo Celso to push forward. And it allowed other things to happen. And it's like, oh, okay.
And it did allow Lo Celso to step forward and score, which made the game 2-2. It was a great goal again. That's two in 2 games for Lo Celso.
He's never done that before.
When he previously scored 1 in 53 appearances. Ange ball, take a bow, son.
I said at the beginning of the season, I said to you, Lo Celso in this formation could work.
We also going to talk about the Ndombele redemption arc, or are we just going to forget that?
Yeah, no, I did also genuinely think that could happen. But
moving on.
1 out of 2 is not bad.
Yeah. Why not?
Wait for the Ryan Sessegnon. You wait.
Hey, I'm a big fan of Ryan, so
he's going to get fit, and he is going to be a hell of a rotation option, left wing and left wing back, like fullback. He is going to be phenomenal.
Okay, you've heard it here first, everybody. I wasn't going to go that far, but Stephan's committed, so here we go.
Off the bench. He's not a starting player. He'll be off the bench, but what an option.
So the game went to 2-2, right?
Yes.
And I again have not messaged, and I get cheeky fuckers. Can't believe it's 2-2. We should be battering you. I replied with an emoji smiley.
Should. Right. Such a good word, he should. Yeah.
It then goes to 3-2 to them after the Basuma mistake, which we talked about.
Yeah.
And
it's always Jack Grealish, isn't it? It's always him against Spurs. No matter what team he plays for, he bloody always scores against us.
So I get back. Where is it? Here we go. Normal service resumed. I bet you thought you were going to get a point then, didn't you? Ha 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 ha. Right. Now, at this point, genuinely, I haven't seen this message because I got a few other things going on. I'm doing updates to the page and stuff, and I'm reading a few bits and pieces, so I haven't actually seen this.
Yeah.
I only see this message when I've got another one which reads, "I can't fucking believe it. That's just like that Kane goal. Ugh, I feel sick." And I read that and I went, we must have equalised. And I'm on a delay. So I look around and there comes Kulusevski with a fucking header for the ages. Shoulder, head, whatever, I don't care. It goes in. Yeah. And he hits the LeBron celebration, going mad. The away fans go into friggin' orgasm. I'm laughing my head off, and then of course I think, well, it's the 90th minute in the game now. That probably means we got an hour left, so I'm not gonna celebrate. So again, I just put back now like the kind of shrugging shoulders emoji and a smiley again. It would appear that this is annoying my friend, who has now replied, "Yeah, you don't fucking deserve a point from today. Unbelievable!" Exclamation mark. We then have what can only be called the incident.
Oh my god! Yeah, I can only imagine your friend's reaction.
Erling Haaland has been taken down, but he bounces straight back up like the Norse god that he is.
He's a weeble,
and
wobble, but don't fall down.
Clips the ball over the top for Jack Grealish to run onto it.
Yep.
The referee, seeing him get hacked down, goes to blow the whistle, seeing him bounce back up, points to okay advantage and plays on.
Yeah.
As the ball is played over the top, Grealish should run onto it. At this point, the referee blows the whistle for the free kick. At this point, I think Manchester City fans, players, coaching staff, anyone associated with the club have some sort of aneurysm where they absolutely lose their freaking minds. Erling Haaland, for example, literally screaming at the referee in anger, which looks incredible because the guy's massive. He's a freaking unit.
Yeah.
So when he's like screaming at the referee, and there's a great picture of it, which people have memed.
The still shot of it is hilarious.
Yeah, people have memed the hell out of it, which is fun. Hang it in the Louvre.
I asked for braids, not plaits, or something. It was the best one I saw.
Oh, there's loads. So let's analyse this. Let's dive into this, mate. If that happens against Tottenham, all of us are pissed off. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah.
The referee's pointed advantage and then pulled it back, so you're going to be pissed.
Yeah.
The referee's explanation, for me, like even if I'm pissed off and even if this was Tottenham, right, even if this was exact the same scenario but the other way around, Son is running onto it or whatever, I think you have to take on the chin as a human error and move the fuck on, right?
Yeah.
And this is why. His explanation is this. The ball, he was going to blow, saw him get up, played the advantage, but as the ball was played, from where he was, he thought Grealish was A, offside, because of where he was in front, and B, the Tottenham player was about to cut him off. Ben Davies had cut across.
Yeah.
So he blew his whistle because he didn't think it was an advantage. Because if he'd allowed the play to continue, which is what Man City are screaming at him for,
yeah.
Let's say Grealish scores, the referee, and it's offside, the referee was right, that's a Tottenham free kick. He can't then bring that back and go, okay, there wasn't an advantage. It's not rugby, it's football. In rugby, you can let the play continue right to the end and then go, no, that wasn't an advantage, and bring it all the way back. Football, advantage is instant and it's gone instantly as well.
Yeah.
So, like, if Grealish had fallen over his own feet, if he'd done anything, that's it. He can't do anything at that point. Yeah. If Ben Davies just took the ball away from him, he can't do anything at that point. The play has progressed and Man City would be pissed they didn't have a free kick.
Yeah.
So it is a 50-50 split-second decision on him that he's decided, okay, that isn't an advantage. Now, from a Man City point of view,
fuming. Yeah.
If it was onside, which I've not actually seen, but I assume it must be, because if he was offside, people would be talking about that.
Yeah.
But assuming he was onside,
yeah.
Assuming that Ben Davies doesn't tackle him, which if you look at it, he was right there. There's no reason to think he'd have got away from Ben. Jack Grealish isn't a speedster.
No.
He's not going to take that ball, knock it on, and just sprint out.
Now, one of two things was likely to happen. Either Royale is faster than him and would have caught him up, or Vicario, the psycho and monkey goal, would have been out of his box so quickly, he would have slide tackled and taken him out anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. No, look, there's a lot of scenarios in that, but the thing is, they're all what-ifs.
Yeah.
Grealish could have taken the ball on, beat everyone, scored. Grealish could have taken everyone out and got to an open goal and missed it. He could have skied it. He could have hit the post, the bar. Keeper could have saved it. Defender could have tackled him. All of those are scenarios that were in play.
Yeah.
The referee in that split second went, there's no advantage. There's no clear advantage there. Bang. Free kick. That is your advantage. You deserve a free kick.
Yeah.
I'd be pissed and annoyed. But I don't think it's any, like, to me, like, you read some of the bullshit, like, come out of Arsenal and Liverpool about refereeing.
Yeah.
I kind of like the fact that Pep afterwards said, I think it's an error. I quite like the fact Rodri said the words, I think it's an error, but the referee's human. We all make mistakes.
Yeah.
That is the reaction I think that should happen. That is for me a professional reaction that diffuses it. Don't get me wrong, a couple of others did lay into the referee, which I think is not right. And again, I say this genuinely, sometimes shit's going to happen. It's going to be a mistake every now and again.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that's malicious. Like, you're the rationale of why he did it. You work on the fact that he had a fraction of a second to make that decision based on what he could see. I mean, jeez.
The fact he had a £25 bet on a draw.
That's a side note.
Yeah.
That is a joke, by the way. I just want to really clarify that because people seem to take shit like that really seriously at the moment. Man City 3, Tottenham 3, absolutely mad. I still can't quite get over that. 3 defeats in a row where we struggled to take our chances, but generally created loads. We create 4 chances in that game and take 3 of them. I mean,
yeah.
What's that about?
And it seems like Lo Celso's goal. When he hit that at the edge of the box, I was kind of like, oh.
Oh, really?
As he hit the shot.
Oh, I thought it was goal straight away. I was dead happy with it.
Oh, do you know? See, I didn't. I think it's just because it's Ederson in goal and he is such a good goalkeeper. When he kind of shot from there, I was like, it was one of those. Yeah.
I always work on the theory, if you hit a shot low, hard, directed to one of the corners, you got a chance.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like you are going to test a very good goalkeeper.
I think,
and if they're just slightly unsighted, they don't get their timing right ever so slightly, and you're in.
And the shot called from out wide into the corner. Like, I think I just had like the Lo Celso of previous seasons where I was expecting it to go straight to the keeper.
Dribbling on the floor.
Yeah.
So that was good. We did put an appeal out, as always, across our social media to fellow Tottenham fans for any topics or questions they'd like to hear on the podcast.
Yes.
I'm delighted to say the people of Facebook have responded, so let's see what they got.
Now it's time for your comments from our social media.
We have nothing from Instagram. No one on Instagram likes us. It's very upsetting. Nothing emailed in. Nothing on Twitter. It's purely fake. Only the Facebook people like us today.
Oh, okay.
So I don't get to ask you the question. I just start. So
Facebook. Yeah.
First up, we have Barry Fowles, and Barry says, "Have you recovered yet?" Do you think people have forgotten this was always going to be a transitional season because of our good start? Reading some of the comments at half and full time when we conceded was bizarre. Seeing this brand of football at the Lane is so refreshing. You have to back this team and manager and give them time. Your thoughts?
Yes, I agree. I think we had such a good start. People started talking about title challenges after 7 games. And it was...
Could we?
Could we?
Could
it happen?
I mean, it's not likely, but we could.
But maybe.
Sorry, Karen.
Oh, there was a couple of your podcasts were even named. We couldn't, could we? Maybe.
I mean, could we? We
exactly.
Could. I mean, we're not going to, but we could.
But we could. It's possible. Yeah. I think that was the kind of thing. I think a lot of Spurs fans kind of kept the whole, it's early in the season. We're a couple of injuries away from it all going, oh, there it is. You know, it was one of those.
Pessimistic bastards.
Yeah. But no, I think realistically, we know it's a transitional period. I just think we're transitioning faster than anyone would have expected.
I also think there's an element of some people took it seriously.
Yeah.
Like, there was a lot of us joking around, could we? I mean, that was a running joke. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. We couldn't, could we?
Yeah. It was stupid. It was funny. But I think a lot of people took that seriously.
Yeah.
Which, no. The Leicester season was a complete nutty freak incident where other teams massively underperformed and they had no injuries of note. Like,
Yeah.
for all those stars to align again for someone else would be nutty. I mean, possible. It could, but no.
But it could. Yeah.
Exactly, that was the joke. So Barry, no, I agree with you. I think one or two people got carried away by that and have now got unrealistic expectations. I also think that there are certain fans on social media who don't actually follow a lot of the what's going on. They literally follow the results. So what I mean by that is we got sent in a question the other day to the Facebook page. It was, why aren't Tottenham winning currently? And I replied, the 9 injuries, the players not being available. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Thank you. Yeah. That's a genuine conversation. I can screenshot it for you.
That's crazy.
We have fans from all over the world. Nothing against that at all. Nothing against it at all. But if you are literally only following the results, yeah, you're going to be wondering what the hell.
We've just gone from these great results to, wait, we just lost to Wolves and Villa? What the heck?
Yeah. Just like, whoa, what's happened?
Yeah.
Look at the team sheet, dude. There's a lot going on. So I think that's a factor when it comes to social media. You do see those comments like that, and it is a real head scratcher. It's taken me a long time to work out that just some people don't follow it to the degree I do, and I mean the degree I do. Geez, a lot of people don't follow it to that degree.
I mean, mate, you are my source. Like, I see a team sheet come out, and I'm like, dude, what the hell happened to Eric Dyer? He got injured in training. Okay,
injured in training.
Cheers, buddy. I was starting to worry. I thought he'd just he'd turn around and slap hands or something and gone, no, I'm done.
Yeah, I've left. So thank you, Barry. Appreciate the question. Hopefully the answer is okay. James Campbell says, hey Sam, has Brennan Johnson won you over yet? No, he's shite.
Brennan Johnson. Yeah.
So for those who don't know, me and Stephan have a running thing over several players where I'm like, I really like them. And he's like, and he's like, oh, I'm really happy about this. And I'm like,
Yeah.
It's kind of like a tit for tat thing now, where
it's pretty much
it's
purely
running.
based on me playing Football Manager for the last few years. But yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Brennan Johnson's an interesting one, and I think a lot of people misunderstood me when I said I wasn't excited by the signing.
No, you said he was shit. And you didn't want him to sign. I remember clearly.
No, that's not what I said. I'm fairly confident what I said, and please go back and check the tape. Was I don't know enough about it. Like, we're signing him for a lot of money. For example, when we signed Richarlison for 60 million, I've watched Richarlison play in the Premier League for 5 or 6 years at Watford and then Everton. I know what that guy can do. I've seen it. I've played against. I've watched us play against him, and he's frustrated the life out of me doing these great things. And all of a sudden, you come out of nowhere and score, or roll around on the ground. I know what that player is. Mm-hmm. Brennan Johnson, I don't know. So my point is, I'm not excited by this because I don't really know what this guy's going to add. I don't see it.
Yeah.
Now, he's been with us for a little while now. He picked up an injury, which was concerning, and I did make a joke to you about the fact that all he's done so far is one assist and 1 hamstring.
Yeah.
But
it's now 2 assists and a hamstring.
Has he won me over? I genuinely don't know yet, and this is why. And this isn't me writing him off. Jeez, don't ever think that. This is me just saying, right now, I am seeing glimpses, and I think, oh, okay, yeah, that was good. That was really good. And I think I've said to you a few times, like, oh, he just did this. That was really good.
Yeah.
What I want to see is week in, week out, hitting a level. I'm not saying he has to be amazing every single time. No player is. But just, I want to see that consistent impact on games.
Yeah.
Like, he got the goal early against Wolves. Vanished. Like, that game, he then had 0 impact on it. It was almost like, oh, I've scored. Whew. No, keep fucking going, kid.
Yeah.
Now we didn't play well as a team, so I'm certainly not berating him for that.
Is that Johnson was to blame for the Wolves defeat? Was that
Yeah, fuck it. Why not? Go on then. Yeah, go on then. If that's go on then. Bring it on. Okay. But the thing that really impressed me against Man City, and this may be silly to a lot of people, but the kid is quick, right? He is clearly fit, and one of the things that often when a game gets late, fatigue sets in, and the cross is shit, or the shot is limp. You're in the 90th minute or whatever. In the 90th minute, he had the ability to beat Kyle Walker and stand up an incredible cross for Kulusevski to score.
Yep.
That impressed me. That impressed me both for his clarity of thought in that situation, 3-2 down away at the Etihad, against a very solid keeper, defenders, like world-class players. He's a youngster. He'd have grown up watching Kyle Walker. He'd have grown up watching these players. He'd know that, Vardiol is rated as one of the best defenders in world football. All of these kids are football through and through fanatic.
Yep.
It is very easy to get in your head. Very easy to feel knackered, fatigued. Maybe try that one extra touch. Maybe, I don't think I can get away from Kyle Walker. He's quick. Maybe I'll just pass it backwards. He backed himself. He did it. He put in a phenomenal cross. That kind of thing, I'm like, okay, that is where I'm taking notice. So has he won me over? Not to the point that I'm like, I understand it now. Like right now, I'm still kind of, that was a lot of money to spend on a player, and that is contributing what I would expect others in the squad to contribute.
Yeah.
But, and this is key, he is showing signs of, okay, I see it. I can see why sides are looking at him. I can see why we picked him up. He's classed as homegrown as well.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. All right, so we'll see.
I genuinely think if Brian Gill doesn't impress this season, then Johnson will be the number 11 on his shirt next season, and Gill will be out the door, and Johnson will take over that position.
Well, I think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't see. Brian's a very good, tidy player, but I don't think he's ever going to be suited to England, personally. Next up is Matthew Fleming. He says, which of the second choice players, in air quotes, who have played since the Chelsea match have impressed you? Maybe even changed your minds about their future at the club? The obvious one is Lo Celso. 2 great games, but does that make him a good option long term for the squad? Okay, I'll put that to you first. Pick out anyone. What are your thoughts?
I mentioned earlier Højbjerg and the fact that I wanted him gone last season, but actually...
Sorry. You mentioned who?
Højbjerg.
Højbjerg?
Yeah, that one.
Højbjerg,
that one. Yeah, him. Pierre. I mentioned Pierre.
Yeah, I mentioned Peter.
Pierre, yeah. I mentioned Peter Emil Højbjerg. Yeah.
Højbjerg!
I mentioned him earlier about a player I wanted to sell last season, and now I'm like, actually, fair play. But I'm going to stick with Emerson Royale.
Okay.
He is a fullback, an out-and-out fullback, and he has been asked to play as a centre-back. And you know what? Fair play to the bloke. He has done what has been asked of him.
Yeah.
He's not, don't get me wrong, he's not been up there like, Ledley King standards or something like that. But he has come in and he has done a job for us. And I'm like, he has really quite impressed me. Just like the attitude of I'm going to do this and really help the team.
Yeah. Like,
I can't imagine any fullback has been told, you're going to play centre-back, and they've gone, oh, yay! I don't think that's quite how it works. That's like a striker being told to go play centre-mid this week. It's not going to be something that excites them or they particularly want to do. But he has done the job. And he got thrown on against Chelsea as a centre-back, moved to centre-back when the sending-offs and injuries happened.
Yeah.
And didn't do bad against Chelsea. We can see the late goals. And then he's played in a few games since then as the centre-back. And I think he's actually done pretty damn good. In terms of Gio, I think he's had a good couple of games. And I said pre-season. I think under Ange, he could be a very good rotation option with Maddison. And he looks happy. Something I've not seen for a long time in England is him smiling.
Yeah.
And he genuinely looks happy. And I think that I don't think you can underestimate how much of a difference playing football with a smile on your face makes.
Yeah. Yeah, you look crazy if you smile the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look like
How to put a
absolute
defender
madman.
off, just smile.
I mean, it worked. Just
constantly.
keep smiling at him.
Yeah.
Hello, buddy.
He does a real bad tackle on you, just get up and smile at him. Yeah.
Yeah. I also saw Lo Celso basically pick a fight with Haaland at the end, which I loved.
Oh, the little shoulder
Haaland-
barge was amazing.
Haaland like storming off, he just drops his shoulder and he's ready to kick off, and Lo Celso's like, "What? Bring it, bitch."
Yeah.
There is something about Argentinian players that have
Fucking
that about
mental.
them,
Yeah.
which is just kind of, I don't know, it kind of suits me down to the ground. Speaking of Argentinian players and having that about them, Eric Lamela at the weekend is ready to fight a Seville fan. Have you seen this?
No.
Some Seville fan shouts to him that he doesn't run and work hard enough for the team, so he turns around and shouts, "Say that to my face, you bitch."
Oh.
Oh, it's all on film. Go find it and enjoy
what
it.
amazing. Oh, no.
Fucking
No, I
loves
did
it.
see this. Didn't he said something about his mother's or something or another.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
it goes on. I stopped, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Lamella really took
I
umbrage
did see
to
that.
comment.
I saw the end part of that where he's saying, like, yeah, your mother's or something or another. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
wow.
I-
That's one of your fans.
Yeah, I think, yeah, to be fair, if you're gonna abuse Lamella for a lot of things, his work rate and effort isn't one he's
Not one
going
of
to
them.
take well.
Come back to Spurs, Eric. Come back. Work with Ange.
There are a few players, like you mentioned Delhi, and you sort of look at and you think, oh, would love to have seen them play Ange ball.
Yeah.
And Lamella under Ange, there's an element there of Lamella coming on with like 20 minutes to go.
The
sorting out
high
kid.
press, just getting in people. Can you
Yeah.
imagine? You've got Son down the middle.
Yeah.
You've got Kulusevski just behind him. And then you've got Lamella on one wing and Richarlison on the other.
Can you imagine what he'd have done to Matty Cash?
Oh my God! Yeah,
it's like Matty Cash goes to the ground, you just see him stand on him. Oh, was he there? I didn't see him, like he did to Wilshere. Remember that?
yeah,
Just stomped on him, and then bloody did the same thing to Cesc Fabregas.
yeah.
Oh, was that your hand? I didn't see.
Didn't see you put. What'd you put your hand
Yeah.
under my boot for? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Lamella, how I love you.
Oh yes.
So Tom Perks says, who is more likely to make it in the first team out of the youth prospects in the forward department?
Oh.
Scarlett, Parrott, Donnelly, Moore. Do any of them suit Ange's style of play?
Every player he has just mentioned has
Yeah.
got a phenomenal potential.
Yeah.
I know we've got a few players out on loan and they're doing their thing. I know Scarlett's struggling a bit with playing time with the new manager. Is it Mikey Moore? Is it Mikey?
Yeah.
Mikey Moore. Now, I've seen I'm guilty. I have seen the typical YouTube highlight reel. And let's be honest, every player in the world can have a YouTube highlight reel which makes them look phenomenal.
No, Neil Ruddock. No matter what, he looks shite.
But
Love you, Razor.
the stuff I have seen of Mikey Moore, he looks a special talent.
Yeah.
My only thing is, I said the same thing about Alfie Devine and about Harvey White. And
Yeah.
Harvey obviously left in the summer. Never quite getting to the first team level that's required to get on the bench and stuff. And Alfie's currently out on loan, and hopefully he will come back and have a part. So again, Scarlett, we've seen him play. He plays well. I think with Ange Ball,
Captain Scarlet. Yep.
I think under Ange Ball, they could all do really well. Of the players he's mentioned, I'd say Parrott's probably the one I'd have the most worries about if he was going to get in.
How old do you think Troy Parrott is?
He's only young, isn't he? He's in his early 20s, he's got to be?
Yeah, 21.
21, yeah. But he's been around since Jose because he was the next Harry Kane.
Yeah, he was 17 when
Yeah.
he first started getting noticed by everybody. So it feels like he must be in his early 30s by
Yeah.
now. So I recorded a loan update, which will be on the show in a bit. I pre-recorded it because of just the way things go.
Yeah.
So I do actually talk about a couple of these players, but just to answer this question, Tom, there isn't one player in the academy that I do not think that would not suit Ange, because the younger players are far more mouldable, if that makes sense, because the academy young system from the under 18s down is all about developing talent and all about creating players who are talented and encouraging that. We lost sight of that for a couple of years, but we're back to that again now, and you can see the benefits of it straight away. You can see the players that are coming through again, like Mikey Moore, who for me is the most naturally talented kid in the academy I've seen since Marcus Edwards. He has everything. He really does. So, do I think any of them can suit Ange? Yes. Do I think all of them will? No. I think Troy Parrott's future is away from us now. I think we need to accept that. I think there are strikers in the academy, younger, hungrier, who are coming through ahead of him now. And Dane Scarlett is now also at risk. He's been going out on loan for the last couple of seasons and hasn't developed. And I say this with a lot of respect for Dane. I think he is a good striker, but at first team level, he isn't hitting the consistency in terms of appearances and therefore goals. Little niggling injuries haven't helped, and like you said, change of coaching, managers, for a loan, that's a nightmare. Yeah. It'd be interesting to see if perhaps we drop him down to League One in January, call him back and reloan him just to get games, because that's what he needs.
Yes.
He needs first team games. A lot of people point to loans and stuff, and a lot of people forget. The best example is Harry Kane. Harry Kane went on several loans, Leicester, Leyton Orient, Millwall.
Yeah.
He didn't hammer in goals. He wasn't a player on those loans scoring 10, 15, 20 goals a season, but he got minutes. He learnt what it was to play football, what it means at the lower level, at first team level, what it is to conduct yourself in that way, and it drove him, and it drove him to be better and better and better. That's what these loans need to be for these players. They need to look at that. And when they return to Tottenham and they train and they impress, and then they might get an opportunity. But right now, I don't see that enough's happening. Troy is scoring goals in Holland, but he's not playing for one of the top sides, so he's not going to be getting like 10, 20 opportunities a game. But he is taking them. He is scoring goals.
Which is good.
Keep an eye. But Tom, there's a lot of players there. The academy side in the FA Youth Cup went through last night, 5-1 away at Brentford. It was a tougher game than it sounds, but
I got to be honest. I look at the starting lineup for that, and I'm like, there's not a name there that I recognise.
Yeah,
but I know obviously you know a lot more about.
Yeah, I watch them a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of players there. That Ange Ball is now under 21s, under 18s. It is being played throughout the academy setup.
Yeah.
The under 21s and the under 18s are both top of their leagues, playing this way. So the players are playing this way. They're being coached this way. They are coming through the academy, and this is becoming the Tottenham way, which is what we all want.
Yes.
Okay, so Kieran Guy says, do you think the impact that Ange has made on the club will continue on for the rest of the season and see us take silverware this season? No. Do I think it'll continue? Yes. I think this is the way Ange plays. I think the players have bought in. I think the club and the fans have all bought in. I don't see that changing at all. I think this would be a very entertaining season football-wise. Do I see us lifting a trophy? Mate, that's such a difficult question, because you can be the best team in the world and lose due to a dodgy penalty or something. It doesn't matter. We're not winning the league this season. Any thoughts of that went when the injuries kicked in and our squad depth was, laughable.
Yeah.
Are we going to add to the squad in January sufficiently that we can make top 4? I hope so. I don't know. because 20 years of ownership of ENIC, I've never seen them do it.
Yeah.
You know, they've bought loads of players, done this. Yeah, but it's never been at the time that it's been needed, you know. It's like Harry Redknapp. I got the chance to really challenge this season. I need a striker and a defender. Well, I got you
Louis Saha and Ryan Nelson.
on loan, and I got you Ryan Nelson at the back.
That was
Yeah,
it.
boy.
Yeah.
A loan and a free. Enjoy. What a surprise. We didn't achieve fuck all. So there's loads of examples of that. I mean, I could rattle them all off, but I won't, because it's depressing.
Yes.
But so my experience tells me that won't happen, even though it should. My experience tells me it won't. So I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I've hoped I'm wrong for the last 8 windows. So we shall see.
I mean, we've got Burnley in the FA Cup, which isn't an easy.
No,
for third round
the
anyway,
FA Cup. I mean, the FA Cup means a lot to me, right?
Yeah.
And every year when we go out of it, I'm pissed because I felt like we've gone out of it through lack of effort, poor team selection, no real desire to go and win a damn trophy for too many years.
Yeah.
You know, when we play a team and they're great, we go toe to toe and they win the game. I'm annoyed, but it's what it is. It's a cup competition. You lose a game, you're out.
Yeah.
I felt like we've gone out of a whimper too many. Like with the League Cup this year, we went out of a whimper. I know that went the penalties, and that's a 50-50, but if we'd fielded our strongest team, I genuinely believe we'd have won that game.
Yeah.
But we didn't. We mixed it up. We lost. We're out. FA Cup, it's infinitely possible. Again, we could see a mix and match side. And I don't know about anyone else or anything, and I know in the modern game, FA Cup means shite if you get top 4, because financial and the players and the Champions League and all that is the be-all and end-all of modern football.
Yeah.
But for me, lifting the FA Cup is special, because when I grew up, it was special. It was a big deal.
I remember like Saturday match day. It was all on TV from like the morning. Yeah.
It's a big deal. And so to me, the FA Cup still means a lot, and I want us to win it. I want us to really go for it. I hope Ange feels the same way. I hope he's allowed to feel that way and do that. I
hope
he's
really pissed off about the League Cup exit and takes it out in the FA Cup.
We shall see. So the next thing is David Littlefield, as the last question says, why is it we don't play our talented youngsters? Many other Premier League clubs give their kids game time and many develop into great players. It seems something we are not prepared to do willingly. Why?
Jamie Donnelly came on at the Dekiad for the last few minutes of the game and was integrated into the squad.
Yeah.
Phillips and Dorrington are in they're on the bench, but they are in with the first team training and developing.
Phillips is injured, but
yeah.
Genuine question, David. You said that about other clubs are doing it and they're developing into great players. Genuinely get in touch with me and give me a list of those players and which clubs are doing it in the Premier League. I'm like, genuinely, I can't think of one this season.
This season, I can't. I mean, in the past, you've had Jacob Ramsey at Villa. He's just come back from an injury. Last season, he was kind of his breakout. And obviously, the one everyone points to is Foden. That seems to be the one everyone goes to as an example. But in recent seasons...
But like genuinely, when you say great player, Foden, yes. Foden is a great player that Pep nurtured, brought through slowly. Yeah. And, makes perfect sense. But he nurtured him, brought him through slowly.
Yes.
Foden didn't suddenly play 30 games. Foden played 20-odd as a sub, 20 minutes here, 5 minutes there.
Yeah.
For what? Year after year. And he still is a rotation player now.
Yeah.
But he is a great player, 100%. The other guy you mentioned, I wouldn't call him great. He had a good season.
Yeah.
That doesn't make him a great player. I think the definition is possibly what I'm picking up on there as someone who's becoming a great player.
Yeah.
You look at the Man United academy that came through all those years ago, the vast majority of them went on to become great players.
Good old class of 92.
Harry Kane at Tottenham came through the academy, went on to become a world-class player. Sort of like Beckham-esque in that regard of coming through the academy and going on to become world-class.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of players who come through the academy at Tottenham who have gone on to have good careers in the Premier League. I wouldn't call them great. Andros Townsend has been a good Premier League player for a decade.
Yep.
I wouldn't call him a great player. Do you know what I mean? I know it sounds like I'm being nitpicking here, but it's just kind of, we have developed a high number of good football players at top clubs. They've not all gone on to do it with us, but a lot of that, and I've said this before on a podcast and I really mean it, a lot of that is down to our own fans. Our own fans have tore our own players to shreds and have eviscerated their confidence. I watched Harry Winks score for Leicester at the weekend, and he's the perfect example of that.
Yep.
Winks set the ball rolling and sprinted from his box on a break to score a tap-in at the other end.
But he only ever passed backwards.
But he only ever passes backwards.
The one I'm really worried about at the moment is it seems to be Oliver Skipp's turn.
Yeah.
And Skippy is getting ripped apart, and I'm like, what for?
Nothing.
He hasn't had
There's
a bad
absolutely
game.
no reason. If he was Oliviero Skippiaro, he'd be getting given a chance. But he's Oliver Skip, an unassuming kid from London.
Yeah.
Come through the academy, was head and shoulders the best player at his age group for England in all through the academy system. He had a season in the Championship alone at Norwich where he was raved about.
They loved him.
One of the best players in the league that season. He picked up an injury, came up with Tottenham. He's had shite managers who have stalled his development. He has. That's Tottenham. The whole club is stalled.
Yeah.
He's now got a manager in Ange who wants to play a certain way. Skip is a defensive midfielder. Does he suit Ange ball? Not down to a T, no. Can he adapt and become that? Yeah. He has all the ability to do it.
Yeah.
Are we already seeing signs of it? Absolutely we are.
He scored a brace against Barcelona in pre-season playing Ange ball.
Yeah. I saw Skip turn a guy and play the ball forward. I saw him take a ball off a Man City player, turn, beat one, and then play it forward again.
Yeah.
That's Ange ball. That's Skip adapting and learning and growing as a player. Will he be first choice in that midfield currently? No. Do we have an abundance of midfielders in January due to AFCON? No. Do we need him? Yes. Should we slate him constantly? What the fuck is wrong with our fans? I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. You're a supporter. Support him. What benefit is it to you and to the team to slate him to the point the kid is no longer on social media? To the point that he doesn't interact anymore like he used to?
Yeah.
What have you achieved? I've just destroyed the confidence of one of my players. Yay! Look at me, aren't I good and clever? You're a fucking moron. We can all have opinions on players, absolutely. And we talk about it on this show, we talk about it in various things. Like, oh, so-and-so had a bad game, so-and-so did this. The level of abuse aimed at our academy players, I'm telling you now, is a reason they get protected.
Yeah.
There is a reason they don't just get thrown in like at other clubs. Because for whatever reason, I've said this, right, and I genuinely believe it. I think Harry Kane was the best and the worst thing that ever happened to our academy.
Yeah.
He was the best because he's world class and every kid in the academy looks at him as an idol to emulate.
Yeah.
It was the worst because every fan expects every kid at the academy to be world class.
The next Harry Kane. Oh, God, how many times have we heard that already? The next Harry Kane.
Yeah. Oh, poor Jamie Donnelly.
Yeah.
That's all everyone says. Because he's a 10, because he is a playmaker and a goal scorer, the kid's already branded with it. And like if he, and this is the thing, like, you know, he's coming on, he's getting those minutes. If Jamie Donnelly comes on and gives the ball away or does something, he's going to get eviscerated.
Yeah.
That does him, does us no good at all.
No.
So Ange is trying to manage these players well. And I know exactly what David's thinking. David, I don't know how old you are, mate, but you could be of a similar age as me, which is where these young players would get given a lot more time because they were only facing fans in the ground. The young players now have social media and they read it and it destroys them. Like genuinely. It absolutely destroys them. I've had conversation with a lot of people who work with the academy kids, and one of the biggest things is like, yeah, you're all on social media, but try and friggin' avoid it.
Do not go home after a match and search on Twitter your name.
No.
Yeah.
But I got to be honest with you, I know my personality. I don't think I'd be strong enough. I really don't.
No.
I don't think mentally I could handle that amount of abuse from your own fans. I think getting it from opposition fans, you'd kind of laugh that off and shrug it off.
Yeah.
When it's your own fans, there's something about that. It just feels innately personal.
Was it Van der Vaart that said he loved getting the stick off the opposition because it meant he was doing his job right?
Exactly.
The more shit he got from the stands and the more shit he got from players, the better it was because he knew he was doing a good job.
Yeah.
But when you're getting it from your own fans, that's a completely different scenario.
It's awful. It is awful. So the reason why this show's on a Wednesday this week is because we actually have a game on a Thursday. We play Thursday and Sunday this weekend. Welcome to December, everybody. They are both home games. West Ham United Thursday and Newcastle United on the Sunday.
Big games.
West Ham, every game feels that way. But West Ham at home.
Their cup final. Yep.
We know that West Ham United can be shite. Look like the most boring, backwards team in the history of football. And then they play us and their players grow.
Fucking prime Barcelona.
They become Pete Barcelona under David Moyes. It's ridiculous. And I don't know how they do it, but they do.
Every freaking season. Yeah.
Here's the thing, and this is the thing that I'm looking forward to, which is possibly a little bit silly, is I have watched us play this negative counter-attack shite for years against West Ham, and they've been picking up wins against us in points.
Yeah.
There's every chance, due to our injuries and everything, they could beat us, right? There's every chance. Every team can beat us right now. There's no two ways about it. I have to accept that.
Yeah.
But there's a part of me that knows with the way we play and the way we attack, we could also give them a fucking hiding. Oh. And my God, do they deserve that from us? Like, we owe them.
Yeah.
There are certain teams.
We've got Cootie back as well, haven't we?
Mr. Romero is returning.
Now,
yes.
I would like to just point out, last week you told everyone that I didn't like him. I think Romero is a world-class defender.
Yeah, that's not you liking him. That's you
in the same
recognising his ability.
The same sense as Mo Salah is a world-class winger. Or Cristiano Ronaldo is a world-class striker. I can't stand those two. I can't stand the last two. But it's just the aggression with Kuta. That's all it is. I'm not saying he's a bad defender. And my God, we are a better team with him in it.
Okay.
And I just want to point out, I do agree, we are a lot better team with Romero in the starting 11. I just hope that that was a one-off silly game and we're going to get the Romero from the start of the season because he was genuinely world-class in those games.
Oh, see, no, I don't want to do this again. One-off silly. No, we're not going to do it. I'm going to move on.
I meant the
red card was bullshit.
I meant the kicking out at a player, not the penalty.
That was silly. But fucking. Anyway, moving on.
Yep.
So West Ham, we owe them. Now another team we owe a fucking hiding is Newcastle because of course they dish one out to us. Whether that happens or not, I don't know. Newcastle are a well-coached, well-drilled team nowadays.
They are like us, though. A lot of injuries. They've just lost Pope for 4 months.
Apparently, they're signing De Gea to replace him. I don't know about anyone else. I don't know about anyone else, but with Man United struggling, their keeper making errors every week. If De Gea comes into Newcastle and pulls off any against us, please be shite. But if Newcastle versus Man United, could you just imagine? Oh my God! Imagine the Man United fans watching him. Oh, there is something about that really appeals to me. I just want everybody to know.
We just need the paperwork to be signed just too late for Sunday's game.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So both of those games are going to be good. Ange ball in full effect. Newcastle will play their way, so that'll be open for us. West Ham, I think, might try and sit off us a bit because of Ange ball.
Yeah.
Which means it could be a bit tougher. They're going to try and hit us on the counter. And, of course, our defence isn't the best in the world right now. It probably will be Davis and Romero, I guess.
It's not bad.
So, I don't know. It's not bad, but there's no pace there. My point is the reason why Emerson Royale's been getting picked over Dyer is if we're playing a high line, you need someone with pace.
Yep.
So when you play Romero, you need Van de Ven, if that makes sense.
Romero and Royale.
No, please no.
That would be an interesting.
That's too South American. That is just asking for a punch up. Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Between the two of them, or with someone else?
Both at the same time. I think they would hit each other and everyone near them.
Yeah.
No, that's far too. No, that's far too. No, absolutely not. I just want to say this because I didn't get to say it last week, but that everyone's seen the picture of Bentancur going off injured and QT Romero staring a fucking hole into Matty Cash.
Oh God, yeah.
The journalist who got that picture, wow, picture speed say 1,000 words.
Oh my God.
That look is just absolute anger. Like there is absolute, because I mean he's close with Bentancur, so I think seeing him go off injured. Paddy Power put a tweet out, which I think I said, basically along the lines of, "We will not be taking any bets on a Romero red card against Aston Villa."
What made me laugh is that Romero had crunched Bentancur like what? 4 days earlier, Uruguay versus Argentina.
Yeah. Well, that's when he's playing against him. That's different. Yeah. That's different. Yeah, we're playing against each other. I will murder you. Again, Ted Lasso. You're not amigos anymore. You are my bitch.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone. I mentioned I did a pre-record loan update. Here it is.
Now it's time for the loan update.
I always said I'd do this like once a month, so apologies because I think it's the first one I've done this season. So, oops. So we have a lot of players out on loan. Some, as we know, are for development purposes. Younger players trying to find their way. Others to try and play themselves in the form, perhaps come back and make an impact on the squad. Others to try and find a new home. We'll start with, we've got a pair of players at Leeds. Jed Spence has mostly been injured since arriving, so very little to talk about there. However, he is back now in contention, so hopefully get a run of games and we can see some of his form there. Joe Rodon at Leeds is playing well. Seems to be from both pundit, journalist, and fan feedback to be doing very well. Every possibility Leeds are going to look to make that a permanent deal. Whether that's promotion dependent, who knows, so keep an eye on that one. Over in Holland, Troy Parrott is scoring goals for Excelsior. They're not a top side that are just going to create loads of chances, so he's not barreling 1 or 2 goals a week, but he is amongst the goals. Some very impressive ones as well. I'm starting to feel with Troy, this is possibly shop window. He, at academy level, is a class above. He needs to be playing first team football. I don't think that's going to be with us now, unfortunately. He's 21. I think a championship club, possibly a Dutch club, someone in another league, will be looking to sign him, I think. That's just my opinion. Alfie Devine at Port Vale getting loads of minutes, really playing good football. The fans love him. He is working out to be a really good loan. That if you get the opportunity, look in on him for there. Dane Scarlett at Ipswich, not seeing a lot. Picked up a couple of knocks. Did get a couple of goals early on, but again, keep an eye on that one. I think with a run of games, Dane's got it about him where he could get in amongst the goals and really sort of catch fire with that. Japhet Tanganga is over in Augsburg in the Bundesliga, not played any minutes. There's a strong rumour we're going to be bringing him back in January. Whether that's to loan him out again or whether that's to actually add another central defender to our squad. We'll have to wait and see. Reguilon at Man United, very much a shop window loan. Big Ange worked with him all through the summer and clearly decided he wasn't going to be able to play Ange ball. Reguilon has done well at Man United, but that club's in such turmoil with the coach and the players. No clue where that's going to go. Be interesting to see what happens in January because there is a Man United basically brought him in as a loan due to injuries. Those players are coming back and there is like a break clause in January. So keep an eye on that one. Tanguy Ndombele at Galatasaray. I mean, what a nightmare this is. Tanguy, if you read some of the Turkish press stories around him in Galatasaray, it is, I mean, everything from arriving overweight and unfit, not doing what their coaches have asked him to do to then get fit, to skipping team bonding things, being paparazzied, if you like, or being pictured out and about eating, drinking at different restaurants and cafes when he's supposed to be dropping weight, etc. Galatasaray coach branded him the most unprofessional footballer he's ever worked with. There is, again, every possibility Tanguy is coming back to Tottenham in January when the loan... I mean, they've got an option to buy him. It's not even... we're not that far into December. And their president, if you like, has gone publicly to say, not a chance in hell. So, yeah, the Tanguy situation rumbles on. That, ladies and gents, is the loan update. I will try and keep it more up to date and come back to you and talk about it more. I promise. I mean, maybe next year. There we go. That was the loan update. Quick and...
Nicely done, sir. Nicely done.
Thank you. In and out, as is my sex life. So, thank you very much, everybody, for listening. That is our show for this week. We will be back next week to hopefully talk about 2 very impressive victories, we hope. Fingers crossed. Yeah,
or at least let's talk about Ange. I'll be happy.
Yeah.
I'll be happy if we're talking about Ange.
We'll definitely be doing that. But until then, everybody, you all take care.
And come on, you Spurs.
Thank you for listening to the Spurs News Podcast. We hope that you enjoyed the show. Stay up to date with all things Tottenham. Follow us on social media. All links are in the podcast description.